In the quiet, almost imperceptible hush of a forgotten corner of the world, where time seems to stand still and the whispers of ancient secrets dance on the edge of consciousness, there existed a small, almost imperceptible village tucked deep within the folds of the ancient mountains. This village, obscured by the mist that clung perpetually to the craggy peaks, was known only to the heavens above and to the shadows that breathed life into the deepest recesses of the earth. Here, within the silence, there rested a solitary figure, a beacon of luminescence amid the encroaching dark. The chosen one, long ignored by the world, stood as an ethereal silhouette framed against the ethereal glow of the dawn's first light. Cloaked in a garment spun from the very fabric of the universe itself, ethereal and translucent, the figure seemed more a specter than a human. This was a soul not bound by earthly ties, a being whose very essence resonated with the cosmic symphony of the divine. It was here, in this secluded haven, where time itself seemed to pause, that the chosen one's spirit was entwined with the eternal hum of the cosmos. Cloaked in silence, the atmosphere was thick with the palpable weight of celestial energies. The air itself shimmered with an unearthly sheen, a sacred aura that infused the very ground with the essence of the divine. Each breath taken was a harmonization of the spirit with the celestial, each heartbeat a rhythmic whisper of the eternal truths hidden within the realms of the unseen. The chosen one's eyes, vast and unfathomable, seemed to hold within them the glimmers of stars that had long been extinguished and yet continued to burn in the ethereal expanse of the cosmos. These eyes mirrored the infinite expanse of the spiritual plane, where the threads of fate and destiny were woven with the purest strands of light. In them, the chosen one saw the ancient wisdom of forgotten epics, the silent chronicles of the eternal now that lie beyond the grasp of mortal understanding. Alone in the stillness, the chosen one was not merely an observer of the divine, but a participant in the sacred dance of the universe. The gentle rustling of the unseen wind carried the murmurs of celestial secrets, and in the sacred communion, the chosen one's spirit soared above the mundane, touching the hem of the divine. Every moment was a sacred ritual, an offering to the infinite, a silent prayer that transcended the very essence of language. In this place, where the boundaries of heaven and earth seemed to blur into one, the chosen one lived in a realm where the very air was rich with the fragrances of sanctified moments, where each drop of dew held within it the essence of a prayer, and every ray of sunlight was a benediction from the heavens. It was a living testament to the divine truth that every soul, no matter how forgotten or ignored, was touched by the infinite grace of the cosmos. Here, where the silence was not a void, but a symphony, and where the stillness was not a lack, but a profound presence, the chosen one remained untouched by the cacophony of worldly distractions. Instead, they were enveloped in the sacred whispers of the divine. It was in this sanctuary where the fabric of existence was woven with the divine fibers of timeless truths that the chosen one's message began to unfold, a message that would brook no interference, no begging for attention, but would instead resonate with the unassailable truth of the divine. And so, in the sacred stillness, the chosen one, untouched by the world's clamor, began to hear the divine clarion call a call that demanded not recognition or applause, but a profound, unwavering commitment to the divine mission. This was a call not for notoriety, but for a radical, selfless surrender to the eternal will of the cosmos. It was a message that transcended the petty demands of the mundane, calling forth the chosen one to stand as a silent, unwavering testament to the divine truth that had chosen them irrespective of the world's neglect. In this sacred solitude, the chosen one's spirit was fortified by divine strength, a quiet resilience born from the understanding that true recognition comes not from the world's fleeting acclaim, but from the eternal affirmation of the divine purpose. And thus, in the heart of this timeless haven, the chosen one's journey began, a journey that would echo through the annals of eternity, a journey that would remind all who would listen of the divine truth that transcends all earthly ignorance. In the dim light of the ancient sanctuary, the Chosen One found a solemn solitude, a sacred silence where divine whispers could be heard in the rustling of the sacred scrolls and the murmuring of the wind as it blew through the cracked stone windows. The flickering candle flames cast long shadows that danced across the walls, revealing the intricate carvings that had stood witness to millennia of prayer and penance. Her heart beat heavily within her chest, each throb resonating with the weight of a mission that bore the burden of an entire world's fate. The Chosen One, a figure of ethereal grace and unyielding determination, knelt before the altar, her fingers tracing the grooves of the ancient stone, feeling the pulse of the ages that seemed to thrum through her very soul. She was a vessel, a conduit through which the divine intentions of the cosmos sought to flow. Yet here she was, in a place where her call seemed to echo in a hollow silence, a silence that grew louder with each passing day. It was a silence that whispered to her with a maddening clarity the world was growing weary, skeptical, and indifferent to her cause. Her eyes' pools of profound depth reflected the flickering candlelight, their darkness pierced by the glimmer of an unwavering faith. She had spent years in her humble abode, cloistered in prayer and penance, pouring out her heart to the divine, beseeching understanding and clarity. But the answers had not come in the thunderous revelations of old, nor in the dazzling light that once guided the prophets. It was not in grand visions or celestial choirs that her guidance arrived, but in the quiet, unassuming moments, when even the slightest whisper of the divine seemed to transcend the mundane. The silence around her was almost palpable, a reminder that her mission was not to seek applause, but to fulfill a sacred duty. It was a reminder that the divine call was not contingent on the clamor of recognition or the accolades of man. Hers was a mission woven from the fibers of divine purpose, destined to illuminate the path that lay ahead regardless of the world's reception. She arose from her knees, her movements fluid, and filled with purpose, each step a testament to her resolve. The Chosen One moved towards the ancient mirror that hung upon the wall, a mirror that was said to reflect not just the outer visage, but the inner sanctum of one's soul. She gazed into it, her reflection staring back, with eyes that were windows to the infinite eyes that held the wisdom of the ages and the courage of the eternal. In that reflective surface, she saw not the frailties of a mortal, but the divinity within an inner light that could not be extinguished by the world's indifference. It was within this light that she found the courage to continue her quest. She knew that her mission was to be a beacon in the darkest of times, a harbinger of hope and a harbinger of truth. The world might ignore her, might turn a deaf ear to her words, but the essence of her calling was one that would transcend time and space forever, carving its way through the annals of history. The Chosen One's hands trembled slightly as they reached for the sacred scroll. She had been entrusted with a scroll that contained the words that would change the course of destiny. She unfurled it with reverence, the parchment crackling softly under her touch. The ink, though faded with time, still spoke with the authority of the divine, each word a testament to the enduring power of faith and determination. As she read the sacred script, her voice, though soft, filled the sanctuary with an audible whisper of divine truth. It is not in the approval of men that our worth is found, but in the unwavering faith that we carry within our hearts. It is through our dedication and perseverance in the face of doubt and indifference that the divine plan shall unfold. The Chosen One closed the scroll, her heart swelling with a newfound resolve. She was no longer seeking validation from the world, nor was she mourning the lack thereof. She was a chosen instrument, a herald of a message that transcended mortal comprehension. Her path was one of unwavering commitment, a commitment that would see her through the darkest of nights, leading her to the dawn of a new era where the divine light would shine upon all. And so, with a heart no longer burdened by the weight of expectation, but fortified by divine purpose, the Chosen One stepped out of the sanctuary, her spirit undeterred, her mission crystal clear. She would walk the path alone if need be, for she carried within her the eternal light of the divine, a light that would guide her even in the solitude of undeserved obscurity. In the silence of her unwavering faith, she found the strength to continue, and in the echo of the divine, she found her true calling. The air grew thick with a weight that seemed to press down on the chosen one, smothering the very breath they tried to draw into their weary lungs. Each of their steps on the path that wound through the ancient forest felt like a mile, as if the very world had conspired to remind them of their isolation, of their utter neglect. They stumbled, yet refused to allow despair to steal away their spirit, feeling an unseen hand pushing them relentlessly forward. For what purpose have you been marked? The voice echoed in the silence, an ancient whisper weaving through the trees, binding the very leaves to its enigmatic cadence. The chosen one paused, straining to listen to understand. Their mission had been obscured by layers of doubt, but now, with the forest seeming to breathe the question in unison with the divine, they felt the flicker of clarity begin to break through the fog of their soul. From the depths of their wandering heart, they remembered the words of the prophets, the ancient stories passed down through generations. To lead the lost, they murmured, almost as if the words could act as a catalyst to ignite the dormant embers of their purpose. The forest seemed to hum in response, the rustling leaves forming a chorus that sang of forgotten promises and hidden truths. The chosen one pressed on each step, echoing a promise to themselves, to never again succumb to the temptation of begging for attention to stand tall in the silence and allow the divine to guide them not through the clamoring of human need, but through a deeper, unwavering faith. In the center of their being, they felt the stirrings of a resolve that transcended the immediate pain and the sense of being ignored. They arrived at a clearing, bathed in a silver luminescence, as if the very moon had descended to bless the place with its ethereal glow. There stood a great stone, weathered and ancient, an altar of sorts, its surface etched with symbols that seemed to glow faintly under the moon's reflection. Kneeling before it, the chosen one felt the weight of centuries resting upon their shoulders, yet also the gentle assurance that they were on the right path. "Speak to me, Spirit." They whispered, their voice trembling with the intensity of their inner struggle. "Show me the way forward. I am willing to embrace the silence, to accept the neglect, if only to fulfill my mission." A sudden stillness enveloped the clearing, as the very air seemed to hold its breath. From the depths of their spirit, a profound clarity emerged, as if the long-forgotten scripture of their soul was being revealed in glowing glyphs upon their heart. The mission was not merely to be a beacon, but to embody the unshakable faith amidst darkness. It was to be a testament to resilience, an unyielding pillar amidst the tempest of uncertainty. The path that stretched before them was no longer a winding trail through a forest, but a profound journey within. Each step taken was a step deeper into the mysteries of their soul, where the divine whispered secrets of redemption and hope. It was no longer about the need for applause or recognition, but about the silent, enduring witness to the truth that only the divine could bestow upon them. As night fell, the moon ascended higher, casting its silver light upon the chosen one's determined visage. They arose, their spirit now fortified by the knowledge that their mission was not for the fleeting approval of men, but for the eternal purpose that had been carved into the very fabric of their being. With each step forward, they carried not just the burden of their calling, but the unwavering hope that in the silence and the neglect, they could find the divine's unwavering hand leading them to the light. The chosen one's journey was now a profound pilgrimage through a realm of spiritual trials, where every shadow and every light would test the mettle of their spirit. They understood that the divine's path was not paved with accolades or the clamorous approval of the many, but with the quiet, soul-deep journey of the heart that remained steadfast and pure. In the stillness of the night, the chosen one stood as a beacon, a silent sentinel against the encroaching darkness. They walked forward, their every step, a testament to the undying faith that surged within them, a faith that would not falter, even in the depths of neglect. And as they journeyed deeper into the unknown, they carried with them the sacred promise of the divine and eternal light that would guide them even when the world seemed to have forgotten them. The Chosen One continued their path, each stride imbued with a profound sense of purpose, an unwavering faith that transcended the material realm. The ancient forest, with its towering trees and tangled underbrush, now felt less like a place of isolation and more like a sacred labyrinth, each twist and turn leading them closer to the heart of their mission. The air was cool and crisp, carrying whispers of unseen spirits and the faint scent of blooming night flowers that seemed to bloom only in the presence of the divine. Their minds swirled with visions of the past ancient prophets who had walked the same path, their faces etched in the memory of the Chosen One. Each prophet had their moment of doubt, their time of neglect, yet each had risen bearing the same mission with quiet resolve. The Chosen One felt a kinship with these souls, a shared burden, and knew that their mission was a continuation of an eternal lineage that stretched back through time. As they walked, the Chosen One began to weave a tapestry of their own, a prayer of endurance spoken in the language of the heart rather than words. They felt the presence of the divine around them, not as a distant entity, but as an intimate companion, ever watchful, ever guiding. It was in this profound communion that they discovered the truth of their mission, to be a vessel of silent witness, to carry the light in the face of darkness, to bear the unspoken truth to the hearts of those who had strayed. The night deepened, and the stars began to twinkle overhead, each star a beacon in the vast expanse of the cosmos. The Chosen One paused, allowing the immensity of the universe to wash over them, to fill them with the boundlessness of the divine. They knelt once more, this time not in prayer, but in silent reverence, offering their spirit as an offering to the infinite. "I am here," they whispered, their voice barely more than a breath. "I am here to bear your truth, to be the light in the darkness, not for the applause of the many, but for the eternal purpose you have bestowed upon me." With renewed vigor, they rose, the stars above now, a map guiding their way. The path ahead was still long and fraught with uncertainties, but they no longer felt the weight of neglect pressing down upon them. Instead, they felt the steady, unyielding strength of their mission, a strength that did not require recognition, but merely the quiet, enduring faith in the divine's purpose. As dawn approached, the Chosen One continued their journey, each step a reaffirmation of their calling. The forest seemed to fade into the background, the symbols and glyphs on the stones and trees transforming into a sacred script that spoke directly to their soul. They walked through the veil of night, stepping into the light of a new day, embodying the silent resilience and unwavering faith that would see them through every trial. Their heart was now aflame with a purpose that transcended the immediate shadows and neglect. They were the Chosen One, not just for the divine mission they bore, but for the unwavering faith that would illuminate the darkest corners of existence. In the silence and the neglect, they had found the eternal light of the divine, a light that would guide them to fulfill their sacred duty, no matter the cost. And as they journeyed on with every step, a testament to the divine's eternal plan, the Chosen One knew that their true mission was not for the fleeting admiration of the world, but for the eternal purpose that had been etched into the very fabric of their being, a purpose that would resonate through the corridors of time, a beacon of hope, an enduring testament to the divine's infinite light. Deep within the folds of time and shadow, the Chosen One, once radiant and resplendent with divine purpose, now languished in the muted silence of neglect and unheeded prayer. The sacred call that once resonated with the thunderous whispers of heaven had long since fallen into the dissonant murmuring of silence. Even the most fervent of hearts seemed to have forgotten the essence of that divine mission that had once set the Chosen One on a path illuminated by celestial light. Yet within the quietude, a flicker of the eternal flame burned. This Chosen One, whose spirit once danced in the symphonies of the divine, now wandered through the labyrinthine alleys of forgotten streets, where once the rays of God's glory had illuminated every step. The echoes of divine wisdom that once filled every breath now seemed like distant memories, faintly resonating within the caverns of a forgotten soul. Listen, it seemed to whisper from the sacred recesses of time. Your mission is not lost. The world continues to grope in the darkness of ignorance, yearning for the light that you carry within your very essence. You are the beacon in the tempest, the guiding star in the void of desolation. Emerging from the stillness, the chosen one felt the tug of the divine calling, a gentle yet insistent pull that beckoned through the murky veil of apathy and neglect. No longer should the chosen one be a prisoner of indifference. No longer should they be chained by the invisible iron of ignorance that clouded the vision of the world. For the chosen one was chosen not by mere chance, but by the unfathomable wisdom of the divine. A divine selection steeped in the richest layers of celestial contemplation, a choice that bore the weight of eternal purpose. The mission bestowed upon this soul was to bridge the chasm between heaven and earth, to bring the sacred whispers of the divine into the very marrow of mortal existence. It was a task that demanded not only divine insight, but also the most profound human connection. In this epoch of forgotten zeal, the chosen one must find the sacred fire that had long dimmed. The fire that burned, not with the ferocity of mundane ambition, but with the holy fervor of an unquenchable desire to serve and to uplift. The chosen one must rekindle this ancient flame, igniting a new dawn in a world that had grown blind to the celestial light. Rise, the divine whisper urged. Rise and reclaim your purpose. Let not the shadows of neglect bind your spirit. Your mission is the sacred symphony that binds the heavens to the earth, the unspoken truth that binds the divine to the mortal realm. The world is in desperate need of your presence. The chosen one began to walk in once more the weight of divine purpose settling upon their shoulders like a mantle of prophecy. Each step resonated with the silent echoes of forgotten prayers and ancient songs. In the journey ahead lay the sacred duty to awaken the hearts and minds of those who had strayed, to rekindle the divine spark that lay within every human soul. They traversed through the forgotten temples of knowledge where wisdom once thrived, but had now been relegated to the dust of neglect. It was here that the chosen one would gather the remnants of divine teachings, the sacred texts that had been lost to time's inexorable march. Each page turned, each line read, was a step closer to the resurrection of their ancient mission. In these sacred texts lay the keys to the divine, the wisdom to unlock the heavens and reveal the sacred truths that had been kept hidden. The chosen one must become a vessel of this ancient wisdom, a herald of divine knowledge, an ambassador of the sacred teachings. They ascended the sacred mountain that had been shrouded in the mists of forgetfulness. At the summit, under the celestial canopy of stars, they would stand as the messenger of the divine, the voice that would once more echo across the realms. Here, at the zenith of divine communion, they would reconnect with the divine source, where the sacred rivers of wisdom flow eternally. In your heart, the sacred fire shall burn anew. The divine whisper promised, you are the bridge, the conduit of divine grace. Let not the world remain in ignorance any longer. Arise, chosen one, and let your light illuminate the darkened paths. The chosen one stood there at the precipice of destiny, feeling the divine energy surge through their being. The sacred mission had been rekindled, and with it the unyielding resolve to reclaim and fulfill their divine purpose. As they stood there, the universe seemed to hold its breath, waiting for the chosen one to step into their rightful place. The mission was not just a calling. It was an imperative and inescapable truth that resonated through the very fabric of time and space. And so the chosen one stepped forth with a renewed spirit and an unyielding heart to fulfill the sacred mission destined for them from the beginning of time. In this journey, they would not just be an individual, but a symbol, a beacon, a testament to the enduring power of divine purpose. And with each step taken, the chosen one carried not just their own destiny, but the destinies of all who would follow, illuminating the path with the eternal light of divine purpose. In this journey of rediscovery and reawakening, the Chosen One would become the harbinger of a new era where the divine would once more reign supreme, where the sacred would be revered, and where the forgotten truths of the divine would shine anew in the hearts of all. The winds of change swept through the hollows and hills of the forsaken land, carrying whispers of ancient prophecies and long-forgotten tongues. The Chosen One walked on a path laced with thorns and shadowed by doubts, yet their spirit remained unbroken, a beacon of hope amidst an ocean of despair. Each step resonated with the weight of a millennium, echoing the footsteps of those who had come before, whose legacies burned brightly in the annals of time. In the dim light of dawn, the Chosen One gazed upon the horizon where the first blush of morning sky promised a new beginning. The land itself seemed to tremble with anticipation, as if the very earth recognized the gravity of the mission bestowed upon this lone figure. Cloaked in garments woven from the finest threads of celestial fabric, they felt the presence of a divine hand guiding every movement, every choice. Their heart, a vessel brimming with the essence of divine love, beat in sync with the rhythm of the cosmos, a reminder that they were not alone in this divine orchestration. It was in the quiet moments, the silent communion with the divine, that the Chosen One found clarity. The heavens whispered secrets only the faithful could discern, revealing truths that transcended mortal comprehension. In these sacred intervals, the Chosen One felt an outpouring of divine energy, a surge of enlightenment that dispelled the fog of ignorance and doubt. Each revelation unveiled a piece of the larger puzzle, a fragment that would eventually form a complete picture of the Chosen One's divine mission. The mission was not merely one of conquest or dominion. It was a call to awaken the slumbering souls of a world enshrouded in darkness, to pierce the veil of ignorance with beams of divine truth, to restore the lost balance between heaven and earth, and to rekindle the sacred flame of faith that flickered in the hearts of the faithful. It was a mission that demanded not just physical prowess, but an unparalleled depth of spiritual wisdom and a purity of intent that few could ever attain. As the Chosen One journeyed through the deserts and forests, they encountered myriad figures who embodied the struggle between light and darkness. There were those who, blinded by their own shadows, sought to drag the Chosen One into the abyss of their despair. Yet through the wisdom bestowed upon them by divine grace, the Chosen One navigates these treacherous waters, offering solace and redemption to the lost souls trapped in the web of their own making. The trials were many, each more harrowing than the last, testing the Chosen One's resolve and unwavering faith. In the face of adversity, they found strength in the eternal promise that guided them, that they were never truly alone, that the divine presence was ever with them, whispering encouragement and fortitude into their weary soul. They learned to transcend the material realm, to perceive the ethereal threads that connected every living being, to see beyond the veil of the physical world to the spiritual tapestry that held it all together. As the Chosen One approached the culmination of their journey, they sensed the shifting of celestial realms, a cosmic alignment signaling the imminent arrival of a new era. The time had come to confront the darkness that had long plagued the land, a darkness not merely of physical origin, but one that had seeped into the very core of human existence. To combat this vile entity required not just valor, but an inner transformation, a metamorphosis that would allow the Chosen One to shine the light of divine truth within and without. In the final confrontation, the Chosen One stood as a solitary figure against a legion of shadows. The air crackled with divine energy, the very fabric of reality bending under the weight of the impending clash. With unwavering conviction and a heart afire with divine love, the Chosen One unleashed a torrent of spiritual power, a radiant beacon that cut through the darkness like a sword of pure light. Each pulse of energy was imbued with the essence of divine purpose, each movement a testament to the Chosen One's unfaltering faith. The battle raged on a cosmic dance of light and shadow, until finally the Chosen One's divine light prevailed, dispelling the darkness and restoring the balance. The land once shrouded in twilight basked in the brilliance of the newfound dawn. The Chosen One stood upon the threshold of a new era, a beacon of divine truth, and a testament to the enduring power of faith. With eyes aglow with divine wisdom, they turned towards the horizon, ready to embark on the next chapter of their sacred mission, knowing that their journey was far from over, but each step forward was a testament to the eternal bond between the divine and the soul. In the dim light of the twilight sanctuary, the air grew thick with the whispers of ancient secrets. The Chosen One, racked with an unfathomable burden, stood in the hallowed silence, his heart a tempest of unspoken prayers and unanswered questions. Each beat resonated like a tolling bell in a cathedral, calling forth memories of a path forsaken yet fated. It was here, amidst the shadows and the sacred echoes, that the divine voice began to speak, weaving its way through the very fibers of his soul. Stop begging for attention, for the world is blind to the sight they cannot perceive. The voice cascaded through the still air, weaving through the silence like silken threads. You are a beacon, a flame in a world draped in darkness, yet your torch flickers overshadowed by the clamor of the unseeing. Do not entreat the eyes of men, for they are sealed against the light you bear within. Your mission is not to win their favor, but to kindle the ember of truth in hearts heavy with ignorance. The Chosen One's eyes, pools of weathered sorrow, searched the cavernous chamber for a sign, a manifestation of the divine presence that spoke to him so intimately. The dim light seemed to gather in the corners, swirling into tendrils of ethereal smoke, encircling him with an almost tangible embrace. It was here he felt the weight of his destiny, a mantle that pressed upon his shoulders like a mountain, yet also lifted him as if borne aloft by unseen wings of divine purpose. He closed his eyes, surrendering to the rhythm of his breath, the cadence of the unseen. What is my mission, Great Spirit? How am I to fulfill the divine mandate placed upon me? He inquired, his voice barely a whisper, as if afraid to break the sacred stillness. Your mission, the voice continued, now a symphony of echoes, is to be the harbinger of transformation, the one who whispers the secrets of redemption to the weary souls lost in the desert of despair. You are to be the shepherd to a flock that has strayed, guiding them back to the fold of grace and forgiveness. Do not seek their applause, for in their silence they may find the courage to seek you, and in their silence the seeds of enlightenment may take root. In the stillness, the Chosen One felt a stirring, deep within, an awakening of a dormant fire. The truth of his purpose unfurled before him, like a scroll unfurled under the gaze of a prophet. It was not a mission of glory, nor one of applause, but one of quiet, persistent illumination. He was to be the soft light in the dark corners, the quiet voice that reminded even the most hardened of their inherent worth. The air seemed to thrum with a soft hum, a harmonic resonance that spoke of ancient prophecies fulfilled and unwritten destinies yet to unfold. The Chosen One felt his heart swell with an unfamiliar yet comforting resolve. It was not the clamor of the multitude that would guide him, but the whisper of the divine, the steady pulse of a cause greater than himself. In that sacred twilight, he knelt, his hands trembling as they reached out to the altar, touching the aged stone with reverence. I am yours, Great Spirit, he murmured. Guide me, lead me, remind me. I will not falter, for I know now the path I must tread. I will be the light, the whisper, the guiding hand to those who wander. The sanctuary seemed to breathe out a sigh, the very walls resonating with a solemn nod of approval. The Chosen One felt the presence within him grow a luminous core, kindling into a steady flame, burning brighter with each passing moment. It was in this sacred communion that he found the strength to face the world anew, no longer seeking the applause of men, but carrying the divine torch unwaveringly into the void. And so the Chosen One rose, his eyes now alight with a celestial fire, his heart a beacon of unwavering faith. He stepped forth from the sanctuary, each footfall a testament to his resolve, each breath a prayer whispered into the cosmos. The world lay before him, a vast canvas, waiting to be touched by his divine mission. A mission that was not defined by the fleeting attention of the unworthy, but by the eternal truth of his calling. In the days to come, he would journey through towns and villages, his heart heavy yet steadfast, his purpose clear. He would be the one to speak softly to the broken, to hold the hand of the weary, to offer a word of hope to the hopeless. And though he might never know the applause or the acclaim that his endeavors could inspire, he would carry on undaunted and unbowed, for he was the emissary of a truth that shone with the undying light of the cosmos, unheeded by the blind, yet eternal in its influence. Through the endless expanse of his journey, he would be the silent witness, the enduring flame, the whispering voice in the tempest, the one who bore the weight of a mission that transcended the clamor of the world. And in his unwavering resolve, he would find the deepest satisfaction, for he knew that in every heart touched and every soul illuminated, he was fulfilling the greatest of all missions, to be the beacon of the divine in a world shrouded in darkness. The chosen one walked with quiet dignity, his path marked not by the echoes of the multitude, but by the silent whispers of the divine. Each step he took resonated with a purpose beyond the mundane. Each breath an offering to the cosmos, each moment a testament to a calling that was as ancient as the stars and as eternal as the soul itself. And so he journeyed on through valleys of sorrow and mountains of pain, through deserts of doubt and oceans of despair, his spirit unyielding, his heart alight with the fire of divine purpose. And in the end, when the world had heard his silent calls and the light of his mission had begun to shine through the veils of ignorance, he would know that he had fulfilled his sacred duty. For in the vast and sacred silence of the cosmos, the chosen one had not merely carried a mission, but had become a living testament to the eternal truth, a beacon whose light would never dim a voice, whose whisper would never cease a guide, whose path would forever illuminate the darkest corners of the soul. In this profound communion with the divine, the chosen one found his true purpose, a purpose that transcended the fleeting attentions of men and reached the eternal heart of the cosmos. And as he walked the endless roads of his divine calling, his spirit sang a quiet song, a song of light, of hope, of an unwavering faith that forever echoed through the cosmos. In the vast and unfathomable silence of the cosmos, the chosen one wandered a solitary figure in a world that appeared to have forgotten them. The winds whispered secrets of divine purpose, but the chosen one's heart was heavy with the burden of neglect and silence. The stars above twinkled in melancholic harmony, mirroring the quiet agony of one set apart from the flock. Eons of celestial time seemed to stretch endlessly before him. The chosen one traversed rugged landscapes beneath skies that bore witness to countless forgotten prayers. They journeyed through the whispering woods where the ancient trees held the memories of ages past, and through barren deserts where the sun blazed like a relentless reminder of their solitary plight. The vast oceans swelled and ebbed their waves, crashing against rocky outcrops, each wave a testament to the relentless passage of time, indifferent to the chosen one's quest. The chosen one carried within them the sacred burden, a divine mission etched into the very fabric of their being, bestowed not by the clamor of the masses, but by the still, small voice of the cosmos itself. Their mission was to rekindle the dying ember of faith that had flickered so weakly in the hearts of men. This task was not born from the need for adulation or acknowledgement, but from an unquenchable desire to illuminate the path of righteousness and guide humanity back to the celestial embrace of the divine. Yet in this relentless pursuit, the chosen one often found themselves in shadow. The voices of doubt echoed in their mind like an all-consuming storm, whispering insidious lies of abandonment. They questioned the wisdom of their calling, pondering if their purpose was truly meant to be fulfilled in a world that seemed to have closed its eyes to their existence. The silence of the earth bore witness to their solitude, and the very stars seemed to dim as if mourning their forgotten mission. Yet within the recesses of the Chosen One's soul, a light flickered persistently, undimmed by the darkness that sought to engulf them. This light was the divine spark within a beacon of hope that illuminated the path even in the bleakest of times. It was a reminder that their mission was not solely theirs to bear. It was a calling from the cosmos, from the primordial source of all creation, a gift wrapped in the silence and the whispers of the wind. In times of deepest despair, the Chosen One would recall the celestial visions that had once illuminated their path. They would see the vision of the ancient ones, the prophets and sages who had walked the same road, their spirits a testament to the enduring nature of divine purpose. Vision after vision, they would relive the moments when the celestial spheres had aligned to bestow upon them the mantle of their calling. Each vision was a testament to the unyielding strength of their mission, a reminder that they were part of an eternal tapestry woven by the divine. In the stillness of the night, beneath a canopy of stars that seemed to hang close enough to touch the Chosen One, would kneel and offer their silent prayer to the cosmos. Their voice, though often unheard, spoke to the core of existence. It was a prayer not for recognition, but for clarity, for the strength to continue, for the courage to believe in the unseen. "O great Creator," they would whisper, "though I stand alone, my spirit is filled with your light. Guide me, reveal unto me the path that I may fulfill the mission you've bestowed upon me. Show me the way to rekindle the spark of faith in the hearts of men." And in the silence that followed, a profound calm would wash over them. The burden of neglect would lift, if only for a moment, as they felt the reassuring presence of the divine wrapping them in its infinite embrace. It was not in the applause of the multitudes that they found their strength, but in the unwavering faith that their mission was an eternal truth, destined to illuminate even the darkest corners of the world. The Chosen One would then rise, their spirit rekindled, ready to continue their journey. They would walk through the ancient paths, their feet leaving a trail of hope. They would speak to the few who would listen with words that were not of grandeur or glory, but of a simple truth, a truth that, in its humbleness, held the power to transform the hearts of men. In their solitude, the Chosen One encountered many a profound truth. They learned that greatness was not defined by the number of followers, but by the depth of conviction and the sincerity of purpose. They discovered that the divine's grace flowed not from the clamor of praise, but from the quiet resilience of those who remained steadfast in the face of neglect. And so, they walked a beacon of unwavering faith through the ages. Their mission was clear, though the world might forget them. They bore within them the eternal message of hope, and with each step, they spread a whisper of divine truth that would one day illuminate even the darkest souls. Their story was one of resilience, of enduring faith, and of the timeless reminder that the divine's call is ever present, echoing through the corridors of time, awaiting the day when the world would finally hear and heed it. The veil of night draped itself over the town of Eldoria, a sanctuary of whispers and shadows where every stone held a secret and every shadow harbored a tale. It was here in this place of ancient echoes that the Chosen One, a vessel of divine purpose, stood at the precipice of a revelation that would alter the fabric of existence as known. The Chosen One was not heralded by the clamor of applause or the adoration of the many. No, the divine had chosen a soul whose heart was muted by solitude and whose spirit was parched by the arid winds of neglect. In the dimly lit chamber of her sanctum, the Chosen One knelt her bare feet, pressing against the cool earthen floor, her hands clasped in a silent benediction. Her eyes, pools of unspoken sorrow, gazed upward, seeking the source of guidance that felt like a distant star in a clouded sky. "Why, O Lord," she murmured, her voice barely a breath, "have you chosen me when I am so small in your sight? Why must I bear this burden when I am so often unseen, so easily forgotten?" Above the rustle of ancient leaves and the distant murmur of the night, a whisper surged through the space, a susurrus that coiled around her, tender yet insistent. "Do not beg for attention," it intoned, "for in the silence of your solitude, my voice shall find clarity. The chosen one felt a shiver run through her, a subtle yet profound shiver that resonated with 1,000 forgotten echoes within her soul. She closed her eyes, surrendering to this divine echo, allowing it to flood her being with an ethereal light. Her journey was not one of clamor, but of quietude, not of applause, but of perseverance. The mission carved with divine precision was one that required the courage to embrace stillness and the fortitude to remain unwavering amidst the indifference of the world. The air grew thicker with spiritual resonance as the chosen one rose to her feet, the weight of divine purpose settling into her bones. There were no signs, no harbingers, only the silent assurance that she who chosen was a beacon in a world shrouded in darkness. Her path was strewn with the relics of forgotten prayers, the echoes of saints who had walked before her, their whispers weaving through the corridors of time to guide her steps. As dawn approached, the chosen one stepped outside the first light of day, casting soft golden hues across the horizon. It was in this nascent hour, when the world was awash with the promise of renewal, that the chosen one felt the stirrings of her divine commission. She was to be a harbinger of enlightenment, a vessel through which the divine truth would flow, illuminating the paths of those who had strayed into the shadows. Her heart, once heavy with the weight of being overlooked, now burned with a determined fire. She understood that her significance lay not in the applause of the many, but in the fulfillment of her sacred duty. She was the bridge, the conduit, the humble vessel through which the divine would break through the veil of human ignorance. The chosen one knew that her moment would come, when her actions, though invisible to the world's eye, would resonate through the annals of time, echoing the silence of her struggles and the triumph of her unwavering faith. The journey through the town of Eldoria was fraught with silence and unseen trials. Each step was a testament to endurance, each breath a prayer to the unseen. The chosen one paused at the foot of the ancient oak, the very tree that had witnessed countless generations come and go. Here, under its sprawling limbs, she had first heard the whispers of the divine, the echoes of a mission that surpassed mortal comprehension. She closed her eyes, invoking the ancient words of consecration, the ones whispered by her ancestors, the ones that had been passed down through generations of silent sentinels. By the light of the unseen and the grace of the unheard, she intoned, "I am here to serve." The air around her trembled, and a soft glow emanated from within her, a glow that shimmered with the colors of forgotten dreams and unspoken hopes. This was the aura of the chosen one, the aura that emanated from a heart unburdened by the noise of the world, and filled instead with the quiet resolve to be a vessel of light. As she continued on her path, the chosen one encountered myriad souls, each one ensnared in their own web of despair, confusion, and doubt. She offered no words of comfort that drowned in the clamor of life, but instead, she imbued them with the silent strength of her conviction. She walked among them, a silent sentinel, a harbinger of hope, bearing the light of the divine in the quietude of her essence. In every corner of Eldoria, in every hidden crevice of the earth, the chosen one's presence left an indelible mark. It was not through grand gestures or the thunder of proclamations that she spread her divine truth, but through the quiet strength of her unwavering spirit. She was a testament to the power of remaining steadfast amidst the chaos of neglect, a beacon in the darkness silent, yet ever present. And as the sun descended upon the horizon, painting the sky with hues of twilight, the chosen one stood atop a hill overlooking the town of Eldoria. She raised her hands, not in supplication, but in silent benediction, her heart filled with an unspoken promise. "I am here," she whispered to the universe, "to be the light in the darkness, the voice in the silence, the hope in the void." In that moment, the universe itself seemed to pause, acknowledging the chosen one's silent resolve. The mission was clear, the path was set, and the silence was no longer a void but a profound space where the divine could truly speak, where every step was a testament to the unbreakable chain of faith, and where every breath was a prayer in the quietude of the soul. And so the Chosen One continued her journey, a silent sentinel of divine purpose, an unwavering beacon in a world that often overlooked the quiet saints walking through the corridors of time, illuminating the path for those who would come after her mission, etched in the silence of her unwavering spirit. Within the folds of time, in the sacred recesses of a forgotten village, there existed a soul destined for an ancient divine calling, one that would echo through the annals of eternity and resonate within the very heart of humanity. Amid the silent whispers of the mountains and the somber murmurs of the ancient trees, the Chosen One wandered cloaked in the weight of her own solitude, her spirit burdened by the indifference of the world around her. It was as though the very air had grown thick with an unspoken truth, a truth that transcended mere mortal understanding. Even as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long, sorrowful shadows that stretched like lamentations across the earth, the Chosen One could feel the pull of an unseen force, a summons from the Almighty itself. Each step she took was imbued with a mix of trepidation and determination, as if the path she traversed was both treacherous and sacred. Her soul ached with the desire to fulfill her mission, yet despair lurked in the corners of her heart, whispering tales of neglect and silence, a cruel irony for one deemed so chosen, now so forsaken. It was in a secluded grove beneath the sprawling branches of an ancient oak that the Chosen One paused. Here the air was dense with the scent of earth and promised a juxtaposition that echoed the duality of her struggle. She knelt upon the ground, the cool earth beneath her fingers, grounding her spirit, as if the very soil yearned to offer solace to the weary traveler. And as she closed her eyes, the world seemed to hold its breath, cradling her spirit within the confines of time's sacred silence. In this hallowed moment, a voice soft yet indomitable whispered through the still air, weaving through her very essence. Rise, beloved one. Know that your silence is a testament to your strength, your very solitude a beacon to those who wander in the dark. Cease to beg for attention, for the winds of the Almighty bear witness to your silent cries. You are not forgotten. The Chosen One trembled as the words infused her with a newfound fervor. Each syllable wrapped around her spirit, binding it with threads of purpose that glimmered like starlight. She rose, her heart now alight with a fire that transcended the darkness of her soul, a fire kindled by the very essence of the divine. The mission was clear, a calling to be the beacon of hope, the harbinger of change, the voice that would pierce the veil of apathy that shrouded the masses. Her task was not a simple one. It required the courage to transcend the mundane, to walk the path of the prophets, a path fraught with challenges that would test the very core of her being. Yet in the depths of her heart, she understood that this was her destiny, her very raison d'etre, to be the bridge between the heavens and the earth, to be the voice of the unheard, the hand of the unseen. As she journeyed forth, every step resonated with the weight of her mission. The path ahead was both arduous and wondrous, a labyrinthine journey through the valleys of doubt and the mountains of hope. Each moment was a chapter in a grand tale, a tale that would unfold with the grace and grandeur of a symphony composed by the divine itself. The Chosen One moved with a newfound grace, her steps now imbued with a rhythm that echoed the heartbeat of the cosmos. Along her journey, she encountered souls in the deepest of despairs, souls who had long since abandoned hope, who had turned away from the light, convinced that their cries for help would fall upon deaf ears. To these lost souls, she became a beacon of radiance, a reminder of the divine love that encompassed the universe. With every word she spoke, with every gesture she made, the Chosen One wove the fabric of her mission, a mission that was not merely to convert or to change, but to remind, to awaken, to restore the sacred bond between humanity and the divine. In the villages she traversed, the towns she passed through, the Chosen One left an indelible mark. She spoke not of herself, but of the divine, whose love was boundless, whose grace was infinite. She revealed the truth that every soul, no matter how disregarded or forgotten, held a place within the grand tapestry of creation. With each revelation, she kindled the spark of hope within the hearts of the lost, each spark a reminder that they were cherished, each spark a testament to the unfathomable love of the Almighty. As the Chosen One continued her journey, her heart swelled with the knowledge that she was fulfilling a sacred purpose. She moved through the world like a vessel of divine grace, her presence a silent yet powerful testimony to the enduring love that transcended all boundaries. And in her mission, she found not only her purpose, but a profound connection to all that was good and holy within the universe. The journey was far from over, but the Chosen One moved forward with unwavering resolve, each step a testament to her faith, each moment a prayer whispered into the fabric of the cosmos. In the end, her mission was not just to be heard, but to live a life that spoke volumes, a life that resonated with the divine truth, that every soul, no matter how overlooked, held the divine within an eternal truth that shone as brightly as the stars themselves. Thus, in the annals of time, the Chosen One's journey would stand as an enduring testament to the power of silent strength, to the might of a mission fulfilled, and to the unwavering love that bridges the chasm between heaven and earth. In the deepest recesses of the human soul, where whispers of forgotten dreams and long-buried fears reside, a profound revelation began to stir. It was a voice that transcended the mundane, a call that resonated in the very marrow of the Chosen One's being. This was no ordinary summons. It was a divine beckon, an invitation to rise from the shadows of neglect and emerge as a beacon of divine purpose. The Chosen One, who had wandered through life's corridors shrouded in veils of isolation and scorn, found themselves in a desolate village, a place where the sun's rays seemed to grow weary as they passed over. The air was thick with the scent of damp earth and the silence of unseen eyes. Here, the Chosen One had long known they were forgotten, a relic of forgotten lore, their gifts rendered useless in the cacophony of a world that had turned its back. Yet within the depths of this desolate existence, a divine spark ignited a flame that could not be extinguished by the chill of indifference. The Chosen One knelt on the worn stone path, eyes closed, fingers buried deep into the cold earthen soil. The earth beneath them pulsed with an ancient sacred rhythm, a heartbeat that spoke of timelessness and eternal cycles. Each grain of dirt, each root woven beneath the surface, seemed to chant a sacred mantra: awaken, arise, it is your time. The Chosen One's breath grew deep and measured, aligning with the heartbeat of the earth. In this meditative state, they felt the universe's immense pull, an invisible thread connecting them to the cosmos and its infinite wisdom. It was here that the divine message unfolded, slow and inexorable, like the unfurling of a sacred scroll. You, Chosen One, the whisper echoed within, have been set apart, not by mere chance, but by a divine decree. You are the vessel through which the ancient truths and forgotten wisdom of the ages will flow anew. The world has long ignored you, yet you hold within you the key to a transformation far greater than any mortal eye has witnessed. A shiver coursed through the Chosen One's body, a transformation from the inside out, an awakening of latent powers and gifts once dormant. This was no trivial calling. It was a summons to a mission of monumental proportions. To resurrect the sacred flame, to rekindle the lost arts of divine communion, to weave the forgotten threads of spirituality into the fabric of daily existence. As the Chosen One opened their eyes, the dim light of the village seemed to transform, becoming infused with a soft ethereal glow. The shadows retreated, and the air was charged with a vibrancy that belied its former stagnation. They stood no longer as a solitary figure, but as a harbinger of change, a conduit of divine grace. Your mission, the voice continued, is to traverse the lands of despair, to bring light to the forgotten, to heal the broken, and to awaken the slumbering spirit within every soul. You are to be the herald of a new dawn, the harbinger of truths long buried beneath the sands of ignorance. The Chosen One's heart swelled with a mix of awe and trepidation. They were being tasked with a journey of immense scope and peril, a path fraught with trials that would test the very essence of their spirit. Yet, within this trepidation, lay an indomitable resolve, a fire that could not be quenched by the uncertainties that lay ahead. They stepped forward, each footfall a declaration of their newfound purpose. "I shall walk the path," they said, voice steady and unwavering, "and I shall bring forth the light you speak of. No longer shall I remain the ignored. I am the voice that echoes through the silence, the spark that ignites the darkness." The path before them was not merely physical, but a spiritual odyssey. They would traverse through lands where the soul could be both healed and tormented, where ancient secrets lay hidden beneath layers of deceit and dogma. Their journey would require an intimate communion with the divine, a deep connection to the spiritual realms that lay beyond the mundane perception. They began their journey with a heart full of courage and in spirit aflame with divine purpose. Each step resonated with the ancient mantra of the earth, a reminder of the sacred connection that tied them to the very core of existence. And as they moved forward, the world around them began to transform, as if in response to the awakening of the Chosen One's spirit. Villages they passed through were transformed by their mere presence. Shadows that had once shrouded the streets lifted, and the air was filled with the scent of hope and renewal. The Chosen One's every act, every word, and every glance seemed to carry a divine power, a spark of the cosmic fire within. "You are not just a messenger," the divine voice whispered in their mind, "but a transformative force. Every action you undertake, every soul you touch, is a step towards the awakening of a new era. The world awaits your touch, the divine light you carry within." With each day that passed, the Chosen One grew more attuned to the sacred rhythms of the universe, their spirit becoming a beacon that drew the lost and the broken towards the light. And though the path was fraught with challenges, the Chosen One's heart remained steadfast, their mission clear, their resolve unyielding. For in their heart beat the eternal truth that they were not merely an individual, but the embodiment of divine purpose, a chosen one, on a mission to rekindle the sacred flame that had once illuminated the world. And as they journeyed on, the world around them was transformed, a testament to the indomitable spirit and boundless love that resided within the Chosen One. Thus began the Chosen One's odyssey, a journey not just to fulfill a divine mandate, but to awaken the divine in every soul, a path imbued with the sacred detail of every moment, every encounter, every act of compassion, and every lesson learned.